This is Mrs. Platt, and today a couple of my friends, Kenneth and Lucy, are going to help me teach you all about how to read with fluency. Fluency means when you read, it sounds kind of like you're talking. It sounds really good. To help you with your fluency, there are 4 things you need to know. Fluency has 4 parts. The first part is the speed or the rate. And that means you don't read too slow and you don't read too fast. The second part is accurate. That means it's correct. That means you don't make many mistakes and you don't skip many words. Expression is the third part of fluency, and it means it's interesting when you read. Your voice changes, it goes up and down, sounds like you're talking. Maybe if you're using the voice of a bear, it sounds kind of like a bear, or a baby, sounds kind of like a baby. That's expression. And the last part of fluency is smoothness. And that means when you read, it's not choppy. It does not sound like a robot reading. Now, the way we work on fluency is to practice reading out loud to a friend or a teacher. And we have this beautiful fluency rubric to help you. What will happen is you'll find a friend and you'll choose a book that you've already practiced reading. And you're going to read that book out loud while your friend scores you on the rubric. They'll listen to your speed. And if you're perfect, they'll give you awesome. If you're doing really good and you're not too slow, not too fast, they'll give you a very good, a 3. If you're making progress, but maybe you're a little too slow or too fast, they'll give you a 2. And if it's really too hard of a book, you'll get a 1. And that's the same for each section. For accuracy, if you don't make any mistakes, you probably get a 4. If you make 1 or 2, maybe you get a 3. If you make lots and lots of mistakes, you might get a 2 or 1. Now, the best way to see how to do a fluency rubric is to watch kids use it, to watch kids do it. So we're going to listen to Lucy read a book. And while Lucy's reading the book, her friend Kenneth is going to score her on the rubric. And when he's all done, he'll tell Lucy the scores he gave her and why. Are you ready, friends? Okay, read.
To any outsider, Gilbert had everything a goldfish could ever want. A magnificent stone castle, a treasure chest full of gold, and a feast of tasty flakes that fell from the sky just in time for breakfast each day. But the one thing Gilbert did not have was the very thing that he most desperately wanted, a pet. Sometimes he imagined his pet would be small, sometimes big, sometimes really big. Sometimes Gilbert imagined his pet would have fur, or feathers, or floppy ears. But every day, and always, Gilbert imagined what it would be like to have a pet to care for and love.
Lucy, can you stop reading and show our friends the book title so if they want to read it themselves, they can? It's called Gilbert Goldfish Wants a Pet. You can check that book out of the library, but right now I want to show you how Kenneth is going to talk to Lucy about what he heard. Kenneth and Lucy, can you scoot right next to each other and eek?
How do we get to be so special?
Good on that, good on that, good on that, good on that.
Kenneth, can you tell her what you scored her and how you scored her?
Speed rate is good. Accuracy, you missed like 3 words, so that's very good. Expression, you changed your voice, but you only did it once, so that's very good. And smoothness, not too choppy, that's great.
That's how you do a fluency rubric. We're going to try it one more time, but this time we're going to pretend to make lots of mistakes in our reading so you can see what it would look like if there were lots of mistakes made. Are you ready? Would you like to be the reader this time, Kenneth?
No. Yes.
Okay, Kenneth is going to pretend to make lots of mistakes, and you'll see how Lucy scores them on the rubric.
Then, one day, Gilbert woke up to find a dog barking at him. Bark, bark, bark. Gilbert blinked his eyes to make sure he wasn't dreaming. The dog wagged his tail.
Okay, that's about as much as I can handle of that. Lucy, can you tell Kenneth what you scored him and why?
Well, your speed rate was pretty slow, so it needs practice. Your smoothness was kind of sounded like a robot, so that needs a lot of practice too. The accuracy, few mistakes were made, but
So maybe the accuracy should be very good.
But I
yeah.
made one really dumb one.
What about expression?
The expression, it did not really sound like talking, so.
No, it really didn't. So if that were a real book and a kid really struggled, maybe that book would be too hard for them.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Kenneth and Lucy. Can you wave to our viewers? All right, kids, it's time for you to practice using a fluency rubric. Are you ready? Let's go.